afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. The topic of negotiation might seem a little intimidating. At least personally for me, when I think about negotiations, the idea of trying to persuade someone to embrace a new concept or agree to change can be daunting. Seeing other people negotiate successfully is like watching a magician perform magic. So cool and out of my reach. However, negotiation is not all that difficult if you understand the basics. It can be a positive experience. In fact, negotiation is actually an integral part of our daily lives, whether we realize it or not. For simple decisions or complex discussions, the ability to negotiate positively can significantly impact the outcomes. Now, some basics of negotiation are setting the stage, showing empathy and active listening, paying attention to nonverbal communication, finding common ground, having flexibility and being willing to compromise, and building trust and positive reinforcement. To demonstrate these and drive the point that opportunities to negotiate are everywhere, we're going to look at an interaction between me and my cat, Magnus. Magnus is an older cat that is very stubborn and anxious, so much so that the vet eventually prescribed him kitty Prozac to help bring his stress levels down and improve his overall quality of life. It was up to me, as Magnus's devoted human, to convince him to take the medicine. I know any of you that have cats, I see you're laughing inside. You know that this is going to be a feat. So this particular scenario, it mirrors many negotiations where parties come to the table with different needs and perspectives. So the first step is to set the stage, create an environment where both parties feel comfortable expressing their desires. Just as a cat owner pays close attention to their cat's cues, effective negotiation requires empathy and active listening. Understand the other party's needs and concerns. In the case of me and my cat, when I first started trying to give Magnus the Prozac, he'd see me coming a mile away with the medicine and immediately try to hide. When I was able to get him to take the Prozac, he'd often just throw it up. Fairly good indicators that he wasn't a fan, and I had to reevaluate my strategy. Cats communicate a lot through body language, and negotiators can take a cue from this. Pay attention to nonverbal cues, gestures, expressions, and even silence. In negotiations, sometimes what is not said speaks louder than words. A successful negotiation often involves finding common ground. Back to my cat example, the kitty Prozac has a bitter taste. So finding a way to mask the bitterness with a flavor Magnus enjoyed, which involved putting the pill in a capsule and pairing it with freeze-dried chicken treat, his favorite, helped him to be more cooperative and willing to accept medicine. It evened the playing field. Similarly, negotiators should identify shared interests or goals to build a foundation for agreement. Negotiation is not about winning or losing. It's about finding mutually beneficial solutions. It's not me versus Magnus. And if I would have approached it that way, things would have been much more difficult. I needed to be willing to explore our options and find out what worked best, even if it meant more time commitment or a bigger hit to my bank account. The end goal was that Magnus got the medicine he needed with the least amount of stress for both of us. Flexibility and compromise are keys to successful negotiation in various aspects of life. The bond between a cat and its owner is built on trust. I wouldn't have been able to get near Magnus had I not worked beforehand to build that trust. Similarly, in negotiations, trust is crucial. Positive reinforcement, acknowledging and appreciating the other party's efforts goes a long way. Magnus now willingly shows up, thank the Jeeves, when it's time to take his medicine. So in conclusion, the interaction between Magnus and me provides valuable insights into the art of positive negotiation. By understanding the basics, actively listening, using nonverbal communication, finding common ground, being flexible, and building trust, we can navigate negotiations with success and harmony. Thank you for your attention, and happy negotiating.